Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Ubuntu Touch Q&A, the UBports Foundation show discussing the development of Ubuntu Touch and our community's questions. This is episode 66, streamed live on December 28th, 2019. This is not the last Q&A of the year. This is the last Q&A of the decade. Woo! Woo! Good one, Florian. Isn't that something that you need to think about? What are we going to do next?
We don't think about that too long because what is the decade? We are working for millennials here. Okay.
I don't know about that one, but we are at least at 2.5 years. So yeah. That's something to think. That's something to say about. All of you have echo. I'm hearing Dalton's voice twice with echo.
But
Marius, fix our audio.
Well, you're only in once. What's going on? Okay, can anyone else hear echo? Are you sure you don't have two YouTube videos open? Because I have done that mistake multiple times, so.
Okay, we're good.
No echo yet, okay.
I'm listening to the preview.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Alan. And Camel. Good. That's going to be a cut.
Oh my God.
We are professionals. We have cuts.
100%.
Okay. So, after fixing a problem that wasn't ours, we can start with the first news item, shall we?
You got it. So, let's start with the news this week. But before that, I need to say hello to Florian.
Hello.
Marius.
Hello.
And no Jan this week because we are jumping right in. My name is Dalton. To Jan, Rachanan, and Nanu being away this week at the 36th Chaos Communication Congress. So if you haven't heard of CCC before, it is a huge event where I'd like to say anyone who has the holidays available goes to because it's right between Christmas and New Year's every year. An excellent time for travel for sure. But Jan and Rachanan we sent over. Nanu's also over there, the Axolotl developer. And Jan gave his talk there today at noon Central European time about Ubuntu Touch, general Linux on mobile, added in some KDE Plasma, Halium, everything, basically, that you could talk about.
So you can kind of say there is full chaos there.
Yeah. But what we heard is that the sessions are overbooked, at least the ones that are somehow related to Linux and mobiles. There is a high level of interest, and people seem to be excited. So that's a good sign. Because Chaos Computer Club, those guys are really the top-notch nerds from Europe and around the world. And if they are interested in Linux Mobile, then that's a good sign for me.
Absolutely. And lots of people to be there and hopefully join us sometime. Aaron also had a talk today at around noon set. It was a lightning talk on Axolotl, the Signal client. And if you're a Signal user, or if you want to use Signal and you're an Ubuntu Touch user, get your hands on Axolotl because it is an excellent app.
An Axolotl app.
It's just a Signal client. It works with the desktop client as well, so you can connect your desktops, and that's what I'm doing. So I can stay in touch with people on Signal now.
Yeah. Thanks, Aaron. That's a great thing. Yep. Highly appreciated. I will pay you a coffee or two next time when you're back in Vienna. Yeah, so actually we wanted Jan to join us, but the problem is that there is so much noise and overloaded Wi-Fi at Chaos Computer Club's meeting. So that's nothing that we want to share with you, just maybe noise and interruptions and stutter and noise again. So Jan sends his best wishes probably for New Year and so on. And yeah. We'll ask him for one of the next Q&As to give a report about what he has experienced there.
The first one in 2020, mind.
The first one in 2020, yeah.
The first Q&A of the decade.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm gonna rap on that all episode. You don't
Seems
you
like it.
worry.
I am worried.
So,
Okay, so let's move on to a little bit OTA 12 news.
Got it.
first OTA of the decade, before Dalton can tell you that. It's true. It will be the first one. Yeah.
No, Florian starts too. Stop with the decades.
OTA 12, ladies and gentlemen.
OTA 12. So let's start from the bottom here. So Unity's app switching is a little bit broken, Dalton says. Dalton broke it. He's trying to fix it. He didn't fix it. He's trying to fix it.
I have a month worth of ham.
Right.
That doesn't make any sense, but I have a lot of ham, and
Yeah,
that's what I'm blaming this delay on.
there has been Christmas at Dalton's house, and apparently he's full of ham.
I have a month's supply of ham. Please send help.
But yeah, that's Unity 8. Unity also have got a lot of fixes since last time. We have in multi-screen is up here in, so you can actually use conversions correctly. Scaling on conversions is up here. That's in. We also have PR in for fixing app crashing in landscape. Some app crashing in landscape mode, which was a weird one. So yeah, a lot of good stuff going on Unity 8. Unity 8 mirror and Qt mirror stack. We also have fix for the Google sign-in stuff, the Google account, which was broken because of key expiring. Florian has been hacking on the Oneplus.
Yeah, something that was bugging me for some time. Keyboard vibration. Not a feature that everyone uses on a daily basis. So you can switch on that there is this small vibration when you press any key on the OS key on the on-screen keyboard.
Yeah, the only thing that would reliably do that was the Nexus 5. Everything else was too weak.
Yeah, and I wanted to boost that, and Marius somehow pointed me accidentally on a small daemon that's actually responsible for the timing. It's the use sensor daemon. It's one of the best, hidden names for a daemon that does the opposite of what it's saying, because it's nothing to do with sensors. It's only to do with actors. So it's actually sending the vibration to the vibration motor with 10 milliseconds. That's a fixed value, and we couldn't change it up to now. So what I put now for the OnePlus One was some additional time for the vibration motor to really kick in. And that's something we could turn into a user setting. So basically, you could then change or tweak the duration of the vibration for system notifications or whatsoever. It could be anything that vibrates. Yeah? I can hear already the people that really want to ultra customize their phones and set the exact precise number of milliseconds there. I already got the feedback that I added 15 milliseconds of delay, or of extension. It's too long for some people. They want only 6 milliseconds. Yeah.
So that's something to do in the new decade.
Yeah. Just one more remark here. Also on the OnePlus 3, Wins took my patch and applied it. So unfortunately, I must say that OnePlus has serious issues with the vibration motors. Not only in the OnePlus One, it seems to affect all of their phones. Yeah. Sorry to say.
It seems like such a small issue.
Yeah, but
then you get it, and it's nice.
Yeah. So yeah, that was my little contribution of last week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, you forgot to mention that uSensorD also has no code in it to do the sensors thing anyway.
No.
So it was supposed to. It just doesn't.
Yeah. I don't know why it was made, and I don't know why it was made in Go. But
it's a really the opposite of everything what we want. It's not transparent named. It's written in Go. It does not what it says it should do. Yeah.
It's a weird one. But
we are gonna kill it with an axe once the sensor V comes along.
Yes.
Whatever you say.
I'm correct.
Well, we're looking forward to 2020, though. A lot of podcasts have been looking back over the year, over the past 10 years. And we've been mentioned on both Late Night Linux episode 79, as well as Linux Unplugged, episode 333, Linux Wayback Machine. So if you have more listening that you want to do after this, go out and check those out. Those were really nice mentions, and I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did I forget something? Sorry, Marius. Yeah, This was a big one. Jazek made a contribution to add Zoom and Fit in Morph browser. So now you can go to websites like freedesktop.org that don't fit on mobile at all, and it'll automatically try to zoom them to fit on the device width. And you can turn that on or off whenever you like. So I thought that was really cool. It took a lot of work, and Jazek was working with me for weeks on this PR. So huge thank you goes out to him, because I can be a bit of a pain.
Can confirm.
You didn't have to do that.
No, Dalton is working with Dalton has been probably the best working experience ever. But that's the truth.
Now I feel like you're just lying.
No, it's not. I've been working with you for 2 years now, and
yeah, we have. That's pretty cool.
I can see he is pleasant to work with. So,
no,
oh,
Florian's pleasant to work with too. Let's not leave him out.
Yeah, he is. Okay.
Thank you for the flowers.
So let's move on a little bit. So during the holidays, I have been having free time, which I kind of used on.
Quotes.
Well, it's my free time, but I choose it to work on Focal. So I don't know how much free time it is, but I wanted to do something fun in the free time. So instead of playing games like normal people do, I made stuff build on Focal and been experimenting a little bit on what packages are missing on Focal. For the guys that don't know, Focal is 2004.
Focal is the 2004. It's not called 2004 yet because it didn't release in 2020 in the 4th month. But it's the next release of Ubuntu, due to come out in April.
Yep.
And the one that we are rebasing Ubuntu Touch on eventually.
Yeah.
We are currently based on Ubuntu 16.04.
Exactly. So the reason why I've tried it out is mostly just to experiment to see what packages are missing and what got removed in later versions. And I figured out there was a lot more than I wanted to be removed. So I had to add a lot of packages back. I also been on. I'm actually coming directly from a lawn party where I have been doing this. Dalton is writing something. You can ask it.
Keep going.
Okay. So I have been at lawn party mostly because they have great fiber there, and there me and some of the people I was with. Actually, they helped out doing some of the packaging for Focal, and some of them actually tried building it for Debian. So that has been kind of cool. They also been trying out one of my friends uses Arch, by the way. So he tried Ivan's Unity 8 branch. So yeah, I've been at lawn party doing nothing but packaging and not gaming. So I'm normal.
That's something we can talk later about.
Taking a break, maybe.
Yeah. Right after the commercials.
But I mean, that is a big thing going into 2020, is experimenting and seeing where we want to go next. And it's always nice to be able to disengage from the priorities that we've set and just see, what's next out there. As we look forward, how much work is this going to be? Because there's no way we could say that if we didn't try some things.
Yeah. And also, a lot of people asking now when and how we're going to move to the next stable release for Ubuntu. And so I think it's okay to tell them, yeah, we are looking already into this. It's not on our schedule yet, but preparation works and informational gathering of experimental things are ongoing. Yeah, so.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And the reason why I, as Dalton said, also when you do something you don't do every day, even though it's the same project. That is considered fun in one way because I have been using development and packaging as my hobby for a long time, and to do so, that's call me weird or not.
I give you crap, but to be honest, I play with the Raspberry Pi, and I have been cleaning stuff out because I need to move this office within the next month or so. So it's not like I haven't been working as well in this time. So I'm giving you crap, but I shouldn't be.
Yeah, I sometimes find it weird that people is like, why don't you just play a fucking game? That's like, that's what I get. It's like, play a game.
Play a game, dude.
Just play a game. You have free time. Just play the game.
Come over here and play Fortnite.
On Windows, no.
Okay, back on track maybe to our main topics. It's not gaming on LAN parties, which would be an awesome topic if we would be a LAN party interest group, but actually we are a mobile devices interest group.
Yeah, I guess. But it's the last one of the decade, Florian.
Okay, yeah, I know. I wasn't on a LAN party for a decade, so don't tell me about this decade. Let's talk about the previous decade, okay?
Okay, let's do it.
No.
Yep.
So, slight interruption for a question from live chat. Alan Pope asks, is there a guide for people who might want to port Ubuntu Touch to a new device?
Yes.
There are, in fact, and some of them do need some updates, and we'd appreciate them. But over at docs.ubports.com, we have our porting guide, which will first take you through the Halium porting guide and give you resources where you can go to get help going through that. It's not entirely a step-by-step process, and you will find problems in the documentation and in the rest of things. But we would really appreciate if you went through there, saw what you saw, told us what you like, what you don't like, and tried to port a device. Specifically, he was asking about the Oneplus X, which is a device I haven't heard about in a while.
Well, speaking about that device, I have a semi-finished port on that. It's all up on GitHub. I never finished it, but if someone wants to finish that might be an alternative, yeah. I think I actually have... I think one of the things that I ported it back then was because of Alan Pope asking me back then. So I think I have sent him images back then.
What would that be now? 3-4 years?
May I add?
Yeah, maybe.
May I 2 sentences about documentation? So I was looking into the documentation a lot in the last months because I was looking again on my Samsung board for Halium 5.1, looking into Angular port, which is Nexus 6P for 7.1 and so on and so on.
You're nuts.
I already have on my list a few things that we need to add to the porting guide. And one of the things will be that when you are going to prepare the Halium stuff, when you go back to Ubuntu Touch, there are a few things you need to add or you need to do differently than what's mentioned in the Halium docs. So while you're trying to unify the Halium as a common layer for all these operating systems that we want to have there, it's still to be noted that the current Ubuntu Touch is not yet there. It's not running systemd, it's running a specific kernel config and so on and so on.
Right. Yeah.
So the porting guide is a little bit behind where we are currently, and please just ask on the UBports porting group, on the Halium porting group, on Telegram, in the forum. That's much more worth. There are some unofficial, let's say, FAQ items already that
need to be added to the real documentation.
They need to be added to the official documentation. So don't stick only with the documentation on the web. Try to interact with the people. That's much more worth. Yeah.
Okay.
And we're trying to tackle this during the next few months, let's say, to get the documentation finished for that.
And while you're running on about porting, I see that you put something else in here.
Yeah, there's a small Christmas present for the porting guys. Well, actually not a real present because probably not so many people can use it. So we have this wonderful Nexus 5 here. Looks pretty normal. What you don't see behind here is that this is running with Halium 7.1. So that was finished in a rush today, actually, at lunch break. When my little boy was sleeping, I figured out the last wrong commit by the Android guys. Actually, Google, I hate you. Yeah.
Oh.
They cherry-picked stuff from a branch that they shouldn't cherry-pick off, and they forgot it had side effects. Of course, only on options that were turned off at the time in the kernel. So when we turn on the options that we need for Ubuntu Touch, it will fail. So it took me 3 days to figure out that one. But now, actually, that's a cool thing, because that's one of our core devices running with Halium 7.1. Of course, nothing is working as it should at the moment, but we have graphics and we have Wi-Fi, and it will be nice. That will be a kickoff.
It was a really long time ago for Google. They have updated the Android processes now, and they are getting very close to mainline.
Anyways, why I'm pointing this out, if we can move the core devices to Halium 7.1, we will have all the good stuff from there. Newer hardware, drivers, newer APIs for the camera and stuff. So we should go there. And maybe Nexus 5 is the first device that we can lift up to Halium 7.1, means
probably the
Android
Fairphone, actually.
Actually, yes, both of them. So
I think Ratachan has done most of that work already.
Yes, Ratachan is working on Halium 7.1 for the Fairphone for the same reason. It adds a little bit better hardware compatibility. It helps us get through the compatibility problems that Halium 7.1 has, and that's bringing us closer to upstream, and that's all good things.
Ooh.
Yep. And it also has support for the newer modules, like a proper support for the camera module and stuff.
Right, like the new camera module. Is there one that's flipped yet, or is that been?
It's the one that's upside down when you take a selfie.
Yeah. That's fun.
So we're working on core devices to move them to Halium 7.1. Also, Oneplus One will be in there if possible. Probably is possible. Should be no big deal. Also, the benefit will be for the Nexus 5. Hopefully, the video playback is then working. That's one of the big things that we are hoping to fix with that. So we are not going to invest too much time on the old blobs to fix that, but trying out the new ones. So yeah, that's the thing I was doing the last week.
That's your fun.
Out of nothing. Well, actually, I don't know. And by the way, it doesn't turn off its backlight. You cannot see it, but it's not sleeping. Okay.
No.
Oh no.
Alan Pope asks, PinePope PinePhone when?
Okay. That's a good one. That's a good one. Alan, you're our PinePope for the next month.
Alan Phone, when is the new PinePope coming out?
Perfect.
Yeah, the new PinePope is well on its way, actually.
So
okay, guys.
Shipping updates for the.
Okay, now we can just end the stream. We have done the best we can do this year.
Yeah, basically, we have
a decade.
Let's excuse this for a moment, because it was written in a really bad way in the show notes. You could really easily misspell that, because it's one piece of...
No excuses.
Okay.
No.
It's one word there, and well, Alan, I'm sorry, but your name blends perfectly with PinePhone somehow.
Well, that's going to be the special edition. Lucas, I know you're listening. Get on that. PinePope when?
PinePope when? Oh boy.
But yeah, the status on that, actually, Lucas published a video today, actually. I think a couple hours ago, showing off the 4 of the OSs that is on it. And
is the first.
Is the first. And it's looking good.
If I could find that video real quick, I can toss it in live chat for your viewing pleasure.
Yeah. So many people are asking, of course, about the status of PinePhone when and PinePhone what. And to be honest, you have to keep a little bit more patience until it's really, really, really there. but I think the progress was amazing for the last 2 months or so, or even 1 month. And yeah, I think that will be something that rocks immediately after we have general availability for the PinePhone itself, for the hardware. Dalton is meanwhile posting a link for Debian installer or for
Don't worry about that.
That's interesting. App triple link for 2004. No, okay. Anyways, PinePhone, of course, needs more work, more people working on that.
And people are receiving their developer edition PinePhones now, and Braveheart will be coming out next month.
And with that, we will increase.
Going well.
We will increase dramatically the potential contributor base. Let's say. So let's not have it potential contributors. Let's make it real contributors. Everyone who has PinePhone ordered or will receive it and can contribute, please do so. And of course, it's just not a matter of focusing on our project only. You can contribute to others as well. But of course, we would appreciate if you contribute for UBports and Ubuntu Touch. And then later you can contribute also for other things.
Yeah, and there's lots of things happening over there. There's we are all using the same kernel build and U-boot build. So there's a lot that we do that one project contributes, and it helps all the other ones. And there are people pushing that all back into mainline, which is awesome because I have no idea how to do that, and they do good work.
Oh, I see Michael in the chat, and
no, that's Tux Digital. Don't blow his cover.
Okay, but yeah, I wonder, how's your stool going?
I think he cannot talk back.
Last episode of Destination Linux. You can watch that to hear more teasing about the stool. DestinationLinux.org.
He bought a $9 stool. That's the story. It was great until now.
Okay. That end of year episodes always go the wrong way.
What a decade.
What a decade.
If only we had the excuse that we were drunk.
Yeah, maybe too much punch. There are 550 people in the PinePhone Telegram group, so if you really want to get live information or near live information of what's going on with PinePhone, you might join this group. It's bridged actually to various chat systems.
Discord, IRC, and
Discord,
Matrix.
And Matrix. Sorry, I repeat you. So it's not 550 people only in the Telegram group because the bridges cannot be counted that way. So it's much more people. And this group is so busy that I cannot keep up with reading. I think I have to completely stop reading that. So PinePhone is absolutely vibrating with motivation. Everybody wants to do something for it, it seems. But if you want to join this group, you can ask their questions, of course, about specific things you want to know and things we cannot answer on the forum or on our Ubuntu Touch group, UBports group. So yeah, just recommend that one. It's at
PinePhone on Telegram.
Yeah,
# PinePhone, matrix.org. And the links to Discord are on their website at pine64.org.
Yeah.
All right,
cool.
Let's take a breath. Take a good old PinePope breath.
PinePope.
And thank our sponsors. So ubports.com/sponsors lists our sponsors, and a huge thank you to our infrastructure sponsors, including Smooth, Private Internet Access, DigitalOcean, and Packet.net. You're all helping us create an amazing mobile operating system for everyone. And I'd also especially like to thank our community sponsors on Patreon, including George Toma, Darko Balka, Thoralf San, Laurentine Tilleman, Milan Elev, Scott Marley, Renee Mirkolev, Morgan McMillan, Sergio Shvetsov, and Yogesh Patad. As I always say, if you'd like me to mispronounce your name as well, you can head over to ubports.com/donate, or just head straight to patreon.com/ubports and enter the community sponsor level. I can mispronounce your name too. Or Bitcoin, LibraPay, or PayPal donations are hugely appreciated as well. You're helping us make Ubuntu Touch a thing. ubports.com/donate. And that's my spiel. That's the entire one for the show. Now, another breath. Let's take some questions.
Questions.
We take these questions from the YouTube live chat, as we've been doing today, as well as Telegram. I've got Riot open for Matrix. And of course, our forum over at forums.ubports.com, where the post about this show comes out about a week before we do it. And you're able to post your questions there so that you can get them in, and we will answer them for your... at this point, I'm pretty sure it's just entertainment.
Yep.
First up this week is Donix asking, do you have any FOSDEM plans? Lists of stands are out, but Ubuntu Touch isn't on it. Well, Donix, we will have some people over at FOSDEM. I'm hoping to go. Marius is hoping to go. But we didn't have that critical mass that we need to run a stand. Oh yeah, Florian, you're going too. Sorry. Jan will probably have exams again.
No, actually, everyone from the BOD is coming because we have BOD meeting. So
Yes.
Jan is coming.
Oh.
I'm going. Florian is going. Dalton is
I get
going.
to meet Jan.
Yes.
Yes.
You haven't met him yet?
I've never met Jan in person, no.
So you don't even know if he's real.
I don't think he is. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure only a robot could do this much work on the UBports installer.
Oh, yes,
Yes.
that's true.
Yeah. He's also be afraid because he is so much taller than us.
I've heard, and
Yeah.
I'm short.
I'm about your height, and we are probably the shortest persons in the UBports community.
In the room.
In the room, yes.
Yep. That's always fun.
Yeah.
So we will be at FOSDEM. I think that KDE offered us some booth space. I'm not going to put that on them, though. If they want to retract, that's fine. I should have said that live.
Yeah.
So
No, but
we might be
basically-
sitting at the KDE stand or the Pine64 stand throughout the day.
We are always idling around there, I think. So if you want to meet us, just go to KDE or Pine64.
Or you'll find us
And,
heading around throughout the
yeah.
Or just hunt us down. Just ping
Yes.
us, or ping us. Where are you? And we will meet up.
Kick us in the
with you.
shins.
Yeah.
You can do that to Dalton, but please, me. I want my shins.
And remember, there are levels on Patreon. I don't know if we've changed that yet, but I'm pretty sure there's one that includes a handshake and one that includes a hug. It might be awkward, but we gave you the rewards, so use them.
Well, I think I kind of been used to those hugs because after joining the Ubuntu community, I think on every conference there has been massive hug giving, and one of the people that I probably given the most hugs is probably Alan Pope and Martin Wimpress.
Alan Pope
It's
phone,
true.
yes.
Alan Pope phone, yes.
Cope phone. Diogo will be there as well. Can't wait to see you. And of course, you as well, Donix. Can't wait to see you there again. Dom, UBPKM, and Mag Design ask a couple of questions that basically amount to saying the browser is too old. Currently, we're on an older version of Chromium. Totally get that. So we have people who are trying to get the browser up to date. Qt Web Engine 5.13 has a ton of new features that we want, including being able to select text with like big touch buttons so you can select specific text that you want. I can't believe they didn't have this.
Big touch buttons.
But the problem is it needs a newer version of GCC 5 to build, or a patched version of it, and that isn't in Ubuntu 16.04. Probably the same reason why Canonical started building snaps for Chrome rather than trying to ship it in deb packages, because exactly problems like this. I've just posted the issue in YouTube live chat, but it is Morph browser number 233 if you'd like to track the progress of that. Maybe help us out with the build of GCC 5 and Qt Web Engine 5.13.
Yep.
Since the question's in live chat, I'm going to say it again. Patreon.com/UBports is our Patreon. Luke wrote us with a question on the forum. Are there any plans for a UBports Gnome flavor in the near or far future?
No.
Short answer, no. Ubuntu Touch is an integrated system of Unity 8 and click packages and confinement and all these things that we throw together to make a coherent system rather than just another desktop Linux distro. So it's not quite as easy to just install another desktop environment and go. And I know that flavors aren't necessarily that, or distros aren't necessarily that, but that's not nearly as possible for what we're doing here.
And I think one of the things that also goes together here is that GNOME, for us, first of all, there's many people that will do GNOME a lot better, or GNOME a lot better than what we will.
Right.
For the first of all, we are really, really Qt centric based.
Yeah.
And second, I also Tux Digital, Michael actually mentioned it, that GNOME is making a mobile version anyway, which means that it won't really work on a phone.
Right.
There's a difference between what Pearson is doing with Fosh and GNOME. GNOME will probably, well, at least not this or next or year, run on a mobile phone really great.
Right.
But yeah.
Fosh is its own shell based on GNOME technologies. It is not GNOME itself.
Yeah.
If you're asking about Fosh itself, we have the same answer. Other people are going to do that better than us.
Yeah.
Way.
We like Qt and, well, we also develop.
What we do.
Yeah, we develop solely on Qt, and for us to suddenly switch to GTK would be really hard. And also we are trying to move away our components from GTK because of we are not good at it.
We're not good at glib.
Yeah, basically, we are Qt developers. Most of us are purely Qt developers, and also because Qt is just better.
Oh boy, here we go. We're ending the decade on that one, are we?
Yes.
Yes.
That's
Let's
what
have
you
a
want to
argument.
die on.
Yes. But yeah, we also really like C++, which I know the GNOME people don't. So yeah.
Ay, ay, ay.
Ay, ay, ay. I see people just agree with me in the chat, so. Huh.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy, Marius. They're already watching the show. All right, dropping that bombshell. I can't wait for the feedback on that one. Forums.ubports.com. Or email Marius at ubports.com. I didn't say that. No Google. No
Send
Google
him some
asks.
GNOME letters.
No Google asks, do you foresee capacity problems with our current infrastructure with the PinePhone's release upcoming? PinePope. Will we be a victim of our own success on the PinePhone? Nah, I don't think so.
What does explain what do they mean with that?
I mean, will things go down? Do we not have enough infrastructure? Do we not have enough people supporting? The thing is, as the community grows, so do the number of contributors working with it. And
Yep.
the our infrastructure can handle the load of more people downloading images or downloading apps, at least as far as we can tell now. And we can scale it as needed. The only thing that we potentially have problems with is our website. It gets hugged to death rather often. But
so yeah, let's mention one of the most important part, which is a system updater. And the beautiful thing about that is that when you are requesting the server for an update, you actually just requesting static files that's served by Apache or Nginx. This makes it incredibly simple to scale, since it's just static files. It's pretty fast. You can cache it. We already use Cloudflare caching. So
Alex says famous last words as far as we can tell right now. Yeah, so things might go down with the added load, but we're gonna
I will say it like this. The last thing that will go down is the system image server. That's for sure.
Famous last words.
Well, it's just static files. How can that go wrong? Like, if
you're tempting fate there, buddy.
Yeah, if someone does an wrong update, sure, but I'm talking about purely load.
Okay. Oh boy, I can't wait for this.
And
to
also,
go down.
The numbers of users, the numbers of users will not skyrocket from day one, so we can actually monitor this a bit. So it's the same on the push server when we can see, okay, there is a certain increase over some weeks or even months. I don't expect that people will fire at us from day one when the web shop has the PinePhone finally there. So it's not that popular that we are like a big vendor and we need to foresee for launch day for thousands of users coming on board. Yeah? So the question is a valid one, and we will be able to we have to prepare ourselves a bit for that, but it's nothing that we cannot handle at the moment.
I think I might have dropped a stone on my foot.
At least you didn't say you're gonna eat a sock this time.
Okay, I will say it like this. I'm confident. If the Apache server goes down, I will eat my sock.
Very good. Another chance.
Oh, we're gonna get DDoS.
We have Cloudflare. Don't worry.
Don't worry.
Oh, your hubris.
If it one thing, well, I'm talking about the whole infrastructure that we have, and Apache server probably will not go down. I'm not saying it never will, but probably not.
Fuse team has a question in the live chat. So to reiterate on this Halium core thing, the Nexus 5 and Fairphone 2, are all core devices able to be rebased on Halium? Yeah. But right now, the Fairphone 2 is core. Well, right.
No,
that wording changed. That wording changed. I'm wrong. I'm sorry. The devices that were shipped by Canonical will not be rebased. And anything that's running on kernel 3.4 will likely have trouble running System D. And upgrading to Halium doesn't change that. Our current devices, we should be able to make patches to the kernel to help them run System D. Those are available. But we'll have to see. As things change, so too will the answer for that. This is the best Q&A ever. I know, it's so good. So right now, Fairphone 2, Nexus 5 are devices which have in progress Halium 7.1 ports, but that's more for hardware compatibility than compatibility with 2004.
It's mainly fixing long outstanding bugs, trying to do this now to clear up with things that otherwise we would have to dig into 5.1 again, and also to keep as few as possible Halium 5.1 or classic porting Android 5.1 devices around.
Yeah.
If we can manage to bring as much devices as we can to 7.1, it will be easier. If there is a problem, you can compare with another one which is similar, and so on and so on.
You got it. Tux Digital asks, Marius, what kind of salad dressing would you like on your sock?
Well, I'm not going to eat the sock because I'm always right, Michael.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Dalton can confirm. I can confirm because I'm always right. I can confirm for him. Ta-da! Okay, continue.
Florian, shall we get a little bit more serious for a moment?
Yeah, sure. So we got a stack of questions here, and that should be the last one for that Q&A because it's quite a long one, and we want to have time to answer this. So I'm going to read the first parts, and hopefully get not distracted from other things here. Originally, Gizmo Chicken and also Phoenix Line Pirate were asking, will you focus on development for the PinePhone after OT12 is released? And then also, how about syncing context with Nextcloud, updating Qt, working on ARM64 devices? So actually,
etc. Yeah.
4 questions. So will you focus on anything else after OT12?
Yep, and then we keep rolling on into our next questions because these are all related.
They're all related. The next question would be from Miro on the Wall. Is there like an overview, like a roadmap of what features each team is working on? Of course, this would be flexible, but just a sketch so people can see what projects they might be able to contribute to that are active. He's not sure about what's active on GitHub on development, but I guess I was wondering if there's one unified place that organizes a display of all that's going on at once. And also Gizmo Chicken again jumps in here with perhaps UBports could identify a few discrete projects and skill sets needed for completing them and post that information. And maybe UBports could publish a roadmap or at least rough outline of a roadmap, discussing your goals when you hope to achieve them, and if applicable, what outside resources beyond money would be helpful for in achieving your goals. And that the example here is the transition from 1604 to 2004. For example, we'll make it necessary to replace Upstart with systemd, and perhaps UBports could announce a call-out requesting help from those in the Linux community having expertise with systemd. So I didn't count all the questions, but summarize, do we have a roadmap and when?
Right, and when is my feature going to come out, right?
Yes.
First, I'd like to say thank you all for your concern, for being with us and talking about the future development of Ubuntu Touch. What I read in all of these concerns are that you are all worried about the current pace of development. And that's okay, because everyone is. No matter how fast we will ever go, it will be too slow. And that is kind of the amazing thing about what we're doing, is there's always this room to grow, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, everyone also has their own pet ways that they think that they're going to fix the pace of development, right? Whether it be posting a roadmap or calling for volunteers that have these specific skill sets so that they can jump right in and help us finish our goals, right? How we're going to make productivity climb with currently 3 full-time developers and a handful of volunteers on top of that. So what I read here is that you believe that development will go faster if we start making promises about what features we're going to deliver, either the order that we're going to deliver them in or a deadline by which we will deliver them, which would be making us go faster, making the people who are already here go faster. And then to call for contributors to attempt to meet those promises. That is, getting more volunteers to help, right? Getting people who can just jump right in, as it were, hit the ground running. For these specific things, we have tried them and they don't work. At least not for our team, not for our community. First off, let's talk a little bit about promising features. Remember when Anbox was going to be integrated fully into Ubuntu Touch by 2019? Because I remember that. And then as well, when we were going to fix the location service and make it possible for you to use Wi-Fi location again before we started working on Mir 1.1 and all of the Unity 8 stuff. Because I remember when we were going to do that too. And unfortunately, even the shortest term of plans fall apart. Priorities change and the world changes around us. So we can only accurately plan what we're going to do in the current release cycle, possibly only out 3 months. And that's what we're going to continue to do. Because anything that we try to tell you that we're going to do further than that, whether it's we're going to do A, then B, then C, or we're going to do A before date, in either of those, if we end up doing D or we do B before we do A, it's seen as a failure. And it's us lying to you about what should be possible and what we're going to do. It's just hand waving and frankly lying and disinformation. That's not cool, to put it simply. Small break, excuse me. Thank you. So roadmaps don't really work at our current team size, right? And then when we come to calling for contributors, the problem is that unicorns don't exist. I'm sorry, everyone who likes unicorns. Anyone who knows about our technology stack enough to jump right in and do the things that we want them to do doesn't exist. The people who worked on Ubuntu Touch at Canonical were either laid off from Canonical when the project was dropped and never want to see it again, or are just indifferent to it. It doesn't have to be like hatred or anything. Or they still work at Canonical and don't really have time to put in on that, and it's not fair of us to ask them to. You know, they're around for questions, and we super appreciate that. Alan Pope is in the chat today. He's still working at Canonical. He was a big part of the Ubuntu Touch team, and that's awesome. We love having him here, and being able to ask him questions about what's going on or why things were done a certain way, and getting an answer from the people who were working on it. Same with the Mir team. They're still at Canonical, and they still love Ubuntu Touch. They can't necessarily put in the time to fix everything for us in Mir, but they can point us in the right direction, and that is valuable. And then there are the other people who might have been laid off from Canonical, but came back, either to answer questions or to contribute big time to the code. And again, that is such a huge contribution that they make, and it's awesome. The problem then, we have those people. So we have those people who can hit the ground running. Mostly. Things have changed in Ubuntu Touch since they worked on it in many cases, so they still need to learn new infrastructure and stuff. But then, anyone who's coming into the project with the drive to contribute, or the skills to contribute, or some combination thereof, does what they want to do, not necessarily what we want to do. And again, that's awesome, because that means that Ubuntu Touch grows organically. That means that we get features like the LED on your phone lights up now when you're charging. That wasn't on a roadmap or anything. It was just something that someone wanted to do, and now Ubuntu Touch does it. And it's awesome because I can just sit there and have my phone charging, and I know when it's charged or when it's about to be dead because I forgot to plug it in. Excuse me. And that was Willem who helped with that. And he basically jumped in, new contributor this cycle, and made that work. Went in Unity 8 and made some awesome things and fixed up the tests that were broken and swore at the test cases a bit, because everyone does. Unity 8 testing is a little unstable, I'm sorry.
Or if you think about the keyboard wasn't on the roadmap.
Yeah,
with
the keyboard
all the
wasn't
features,
on our...
and it just grew out of the motivation and interest of a few people there.
You can move the cursor by holding on space, and that's cool.
Yeah, and you have this little menu now, and you can select a little bit better, and all that things. We didn't order that to be done now, or we say we want to have it in 6 months. No, it was just a good idea that took shape.
And I think also this goes hand in hand with what I've been doing in my free time. because I don't do it because, well, I don't do it because Dalton or Florian or anyone asked for it. I do it because I think it's fun.
And it helps, and we grow organically because of it.
Yeah.
And all of that is fine. It just means that the OS grows organically rather than structurally. And maybe your feature request doesn't get implemented the way that you want or when you want it to be. But again, that's okay. Most of the people who are working on Ubuntu Touch are doing it in their spare time or on their own volition. And you can't tell them what to do with their free time, and neither can I. I can't tell Marius not to work on Focal. I can ask him nicely to take a break, though.
Yeah. Just play a game.
He won't do it.
He tells me, just play a game.
And I say this as we call me the development manager for the project, as one of the full-time people working on Ubuntu Touch, paid by the proceeds of the project. And there are only 2 other people who I can almost absolutely count on to deliver structurally, not organically. And that's because we're all paid using proceeds from the project. Of course, things happen. Development is harder than we originally say it is. And on the reverse side, many community contributors are ultra dependable. They say they're going to do something, and they do it. But it's not fair of us to expect them to do that when they are donating their time.
And also, one thing is also worth mentioning that it's me, Dalton, and Rajan that are the 3 paid developers currently. Hopefully, we'll grow.
Yeah, and we're not entitled to the time of our volunteer developers. They're picking what they want to do.
Yeah.
For our paid development staff, however, I'm going to give you some good news. We meet every Wednesday at 1400 UTC, except this one, it was Christmas, to discuss what we've been working on in the past week and anything that we're stuck on, and make sure that we're correctly focused on our priorities for the next week. And sometimes volunteers join us, and that's excellent. And right now we're at the right size for that. We have the right size team, we have the right size community. It works out pretty well. And if we continue to grow, we're going to outgrow that, which is fine. Things change over time. We keep trying new project management stuff.
Yeah, and also the number of contributions has increased pretty much over the last year.
Oh my gosh, so much. In this cycle, and I partially attribute this to us meeting, talking about these things, we have doubled the number of non-translation PRs that we have merged per day compared to OTA 8, which came out in March. That cycle ran from January to March. And even when you compare it to this time last year, when we were releasing OTA 5, 6, and 7, which were extremely fast and extremely productive releases, we're still at a 33% increase of that effort. Mm-hmm. So I might be biased, but I also think that the changes that we're making now are larger and more impactful to what we're doing. So my suggestion to you, everyone who had these questions, everyone who asks about a roadmap, everyone who asks when their pet feature is going to be done, trust us. We're going to pick up new management practices as they make sense for us, whether that is these meetings or even road mapping. I'm not completely against making a roadmap. I just know that in an open source community, you can only plan out about 3 months ahead, so not much farther than that. But at our size and in our mostly volunteer community situation, trust that we'll pick these things up as we need them to. And most importantly, trust that we're not going to make a roadmap right now. It doesn't make sense for us at our size. If you're interested in seeing something fixed, if you think that we're going too slow on something, you want something enhanced, pick up a text editor. Join us on Wednesdays. If you PM me, I will send you the link to that meeting. I would love to have you there more than anything. I don't want to make it a broadcast like this Q&A because this is actually extremely stressful, and right now I'm sweating a lot. But don't let the "I'm not a developer" stop you. Can we let Marius have a non-clicky keyboard? I don't know, maybe. He can't mute his microphone. Don't let "I'm not a developer" stop you from that. All of us started working on Ubuntu Touch when we were new, possibly even new to development as a whole. So we get it that people are new, and we want to help you contribute to Ubuntu Touch because you are the best contributor that we could ask for. All of you who take to the forum, who come here to the live chat and discuss, create, and sometimes write some code. We don't want the unicorns helping us with Ubuntu Touch. We don't want the people who will follow our roadmap. We want you. I mean, the unicorns would be great, but they don't exist, so. We just want you doing what you want to do, contributing to what you want to contribute on Ubuntu Touch. And no amount of our planning or road mapping or deadlines is going to change that. So that is my soapbox for this episode. And again, thank you for the questions. Thank you for allowing me to say this. And thank you for allowing us to work on Ubuntu Touch, to be here every week and 2 weeks and talk to you about this, because it's awesome. I feel like as we keep going, it's going to be a great year. It's going to be a great decade. So,
Yes.
To be honest, I would say 2020 is probably gonna be the year of mobile Linux to grow.
Yes, and I think that was my quote. I said this already before.
I think
I said it on last Q&A or the one before. 2020 will be awesome because we get a hardware that we want.
Yeah,
or actually,
for sure.
we get some hardware and it's still not 100% blob free, but it will be a good base.
And I think also we are probably going back into the time, back in time a little bit to when Canonical shipped their first devices, and how amazing that was back then.
Such a special time.
And yeah, I think we are bringing that back, but we actually this time we are bringing it back as a community, and also together with KDE and with Pine and all this community project. That comes along and makes something amazing together, which is Linux.
Dude, it's a community.
It's a community.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And I also have to thank Canonical, like, from the bottom of my heart, to provide all of this. Like, we are building on top of their infrastructure. We are building on top of their code. We are also using their base. And without Canonical and without Debian, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah,
True.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
We're standing on the shoulder of giants, actually.
And without Postmarket OS, we wouldn't be on the PinePhone. It's like all of these things that just come together, and we might be, in air quotes, competing, but it's all getting better. So,
And when you were talking about that, seeing how the community together is to create something like we from UBports have contributed to the PinePhone, KDE Mobile has contributed to the PinePhone, and also, as you said, Postmarket OS has contributed to PinePhone, and everyone together, like, none of us would have been able to do this alone. Like, I can say that straight out, without the help of so many developers coming together, none of it will true. We could never build PinePhone from scratch, nor could KDE Plasma or Postmarket OS. But since we are doing it together, we are able to do it.
Florian, do you have any last words on the topic?
Maybe not on this topic, but on related notes. What else needs to be said now? Happy New Year to everyone in a few days.
Happy New
Come
Decade.
over. Yeah, new decade. Have a happy New Year's Eve, and see you again in 2020 on the first Q&A. We will be there. One or more of us, of course. I think it will be not one, 2 or more of us. And
We'll hear about adventures at Chaos Communication Congress. Maybe we can get Rutschnan on. It's actually really late for him, so maybe
we will summon Jan for that one, of course.
Yeah. Time zone is really an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone's working. Yeah.
Maybe if he wants to stay up late, but we won't force
We
him.
won't make him do that. No.
We won't make him do that.
That would suck. So we'll see you all on January 11th, all going well. And thank you, everyone, so much for watching,
we love
listening
you guys.
to this episode of the Ubuntu Touch Q&A. It's been a ride.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I know it sounds so cliche, but I love you guys.
The fun doesn't stop here. If you want to continue chatting, interacting with us, you can find us on all sorts of social media platforms, including Facebook, Twitter, PixelFed, Mastodon, LinkedIn, Instagram. We also have a Telegram news channel, a Diaspora, and a news channel on Matrix. If you just want to get things fed to you about what we're doing, you can go there. Or if you want to chat with us, and that's the really awesome thing, you can head over to Telegram at UBports, Matrix, #UBports:matrix.org, or find us on our forum at forums.ubports.com. We'd love to see you there. Michael, we're not buying everyone a stool.
I know. Dalton is the one that has been yelling at me, don't do that, and now he's starting to do it himself. I love it. Michael, you have done a great thing buying that stool. It has been the best thing you have bought.
Oh, by the way, we do have an after party after this chat. If you're at UBports, we're going to post the link to that, so you can come and chat with us after this. Hopefully we don't overflow the room with how many people we have today, but we'll see. Whatever happens. You'll just need a microphone. We won't be broadcast or anything. We'd
Michael,
love to see you there.
Join. You and your
Ellen Popephone needs to join, of course.
Popephone, yes.
It was PinePope, guys.
PinePope.
Oh, sorry.
PinePope.
Please come to our after broadcast chat party.
Thank you, everyone, again so much for watching. We'll see you in the new decade. It's been a lot of fun. Bye-bye.
Bye.